for tuning in to listen to our broadcast, Eagle Club Network. We are the future emerging and aspiring global leaders and entrepreneurs from the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas Metroplex, who are a part of the Future Leaders Outreach Network. Pursue your dreams, Eagle Club Project.
The program, supported by the Family Youth Services Bureau, is developed to teach evidence-based teen pregnancy prevention curriculum that teaches middle and high school students to set boundaries from drugs, alcohol, violence, bullying, and all premature sexual activity. Also, parents and other adults can attend our Parent Involvement Network workshops.
We thought you ought to know.
Our slogan is "Leaders are like eagles, soaring to reach the top." So grab a pad and pen and be ready to write down some valuable practical principles and promising practices that would encourage, empower, cultivate, and motivate you to soar like an eagle to the top of the summit, the highest point to reach.
We thought you ought to know. And now, the Eagle Club Network broadcast.
Pursue your dreams, please pursue your dreams, because they'll be life-changing.
The broadcast you're about to listen to is a continuation from our previous broadcast on the topic of personal responsibility, pursuing my dreams.
While Joy isn't getting ready, there's one thing that you mentioned, Dr. Clemens.
Yes.
I don't want you to finish. You mentioned the two curriculums, but
Yes.
you didn't say what they were.
Oh,
so
okay.
I wanted you to go ahead and say what they were so
Okay.
that we can...
Thank you. I do get kind of over there sometimes. Okay, Project AIM
Yes.
is one of the curriculums, and AIM is Adult Identity Mentoring. And the young people who are in the studio, along with about 25 others, over the summer at Community Love Outreach, which is a church that you and
That I
Batista Weaver attended. And I want to take this time out to thank
Yes.
Batista Weaver because she was the one that continued to stay connected with our young people while we were getting some other things together. So we're at this point, at this time, at this day in this season to bring the young people who are in the program who are interested. But when we talk about personal responsibility and the Project AIM curriculum, it has 12 modules in the curriculum, and it's all about making healthy choices. So the adult identity mentoring is what the AIM stands for. And we teach this in the middle schools and high schools. Currently, the schools that we're in is Texas Leadership Academy. This is our second year there. We started out teaching Choosing the Best. Choosing the Best is the other curriculum. It's age appropriate. And so we have Choosing the Best Way. We have Choosing the Best Path, Choosing the Best Life, Choosing the Best Journey, and Choosing the Best Soulmate. And so we also teach that curriculum as relates to abstinence education and contraceptive education, because not all teens are going to abstain, from sex.
Right.
Okay. Right. And so take the personal responsibility that if you have to cross over those boundaries and you find yourself in a situation where, like, drugs and alcohol makes you vulnerable, you out hanging out with your friends or peer pressure, contraceptive education is what needs to happen. They need to take that choice, make that choice, and wear a condom, or get on birth control.
Right.
So the adult preparation subject piece of it, that's being taught from our curriculum that Injiri Shimori and I wrote several years ago that was published in the American Journal of Health Studies. And we have 3 different age-appropriate levels as well, but the one we teach right now with this program is My Journey, the rites of passage from adolescent to responsible adulthood. I'm going to repeat that again. It's called My Journey, the responsible path and journey for them to transition effectively from being an adolescent to adulthood. And then we have Pursuing My Dreams, Let Your Journey Begin, Pursuing My Dreams, I Can Do It. And so those are the curriculums that we have. And last but not least, and most important, who are the first teachers of the young people that we teach in the school, Juan?
They are parents.
They're the parents and the caregivers.
Yes.
That's where it all starts.
Yes.
It all starts. And so our program basically adds value to the adults so that they can make sure that they are supported and that their message for their own child is being reinforced. So we have the Parent Involvement Network. And this was a curriculum that was written by Injiri Shimori, and it's called Parents, Culture Keepers for Future Leaders, a Rites of Passage Guide for Parents. Share your values, support their future. And I just want to cue on a couple words, and then we'll talk about choices. I'll lay the foundation for the topic on today, my personal responsibility, pursuing my dreams. And then we will hear from Symia, Jade, Maya, and Jordan. How do you envision seeing yourself being successful now and after graduating from high school? 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and any other comments they want to share. So let's start out with you, Ms. Symia, and share your responses. You can just say, the first one, and however you want to facilitate that to make yourself comfortable. Yes, I have you. You're on the air.
Okay. What I learned from AIM is that being a leader and believing I can accomplish any and everything I put my mind to.
Okay. And just go ahead and go down the list of what you've already prepared to say. The next one. My future career is?
My future career is, I think I want to be a dance choreographer.
Okay.
I would set boundaries from unprotected sex by staying in the house and away from any kinds of bad influence that I know would try to get me to do something of the sort. Drug use is, I would say no to the offers and or anything my mother wouldn't approve of. Alcohol use, I know my boundaries. I know that someone could convince me easily and mess up my life of just one sip. Violence is don't associate with people, troublemakers, and or fighters. Bullying, don't join in, or if I see it, make it known that it isn't okay until an adult.
Okay. And then how do you envision seeing yourself 1 year from now, 3 years from now, or 5 years from now?
1 year from now is doing good in school, focusing on graduating and making my family proud and mainly myself.
Wonderful.
3 years from now, I see myself driving, passing an active job, paying for things I desire on my own. 5 years attending Wichita State University, learning and focusing on my future, committing to my classes, work, and trying my best to become a dancer.
Okay, let's give her a round of applause. Okay,
Can I ask why Wichita State University?
Yeah.
Because my god sister goes there, and ever since I was in elementary, she always showed us how to do work and stuff. Like, she used to help us on the homework and stuff.
Oh, wonderful. And she's attending there now. We're talking about Jade?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and Jade's going to be calling in from time to time, too, attending. And she was also in the class last year at the Community Love Outreach Church. So we thank you for sharing with you your personal responsibility and what you're going to do to stay focused on pursuing your dreams. Okay, next now we have here Miss Jade, and Jade is going to do the same thing in her own way. And anything else you want to say after that as far as comments, you feel free to do that. Go ahead, Miss Jade.
Project AIM last year taught us what it seemed like their main focus was teaching us and letting us know that we needed to be a legend and to leave a legend.
Leave a legacy, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And my future career is still unknown, but some boundaries I was set to stay away from unprotected sex or sex before a relationship with a committed partner would be don't fall into temptation, or don't, stay away from people that want that from me or whatever.
Okay.
And, drug use, honestly, just saying no really is, like, what some people need to learn to do, and saying no and meaning it, like.
Wonderful.
Alcohol use, it's the same with drugs, just say no and mean it, like, don't, like, drag it out, like you're not sure. Just say no and mean it to that person that's offering it to you. And violence is a hard one because, violence is usually my first, my go-to thing. But I've been setting boundaries for myself and just staying away from people that would trigger, a more aggressive side. Or even if, like, you see it or something like that, and don't just, like, go and be violent with them. Tell someone to try and stop the violence.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Well said.
And
bullying?
Well, I kind of have a bit of experience with bullying when I was in like middle school, like 6th and 7th grade. I would tease people that weren't like in the in crowd or whatever because I thought it was cool or funny. Mm-hmm. But after a while, I stopped. I was like, this is not cool. This is unacceptable. These people they shouldn't be able to approve my life or making me seem like I was cool or whatever.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Great. We're going to come back to that. Go ahead. And then how do you see yourself 1 year from now? How do you envision seeing yourself 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now?
Well, a year from now, I see myself, still in school, probably in the 10th grade, of course. With all of my credits, yeah. 3 years from now, I see myself preparing to graduate from high school with a 3.5 GPA.
Woo-woo!
And 5 years from now, I see myself in my first year of college.
Wonderful, great. Now, last night I sat with each one of the ambassador members, and I was just moved to tears and emotions from all of them, and how they were able to articulate from what you and I put together, Mr. Stewart, to begin the process of being able to be comfortable talking about their personal responsibility and pursuing their dreams. And when she was sharing about the bullying part and that turning point that she made, that she took a personal responsibility to say, this is not right. You know, I don't need to do this to be in the in crowd.
You know.
Right. Well, with me, it was more like a kind of a respect thing. You know, like people, they would like they would kind of avoid me and stay out of my way. And, you know, they would just do as I said because they were afraid of me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I felt like superior to them in a way.
Yeah, yeah. But after a while, you found out that it wasn't really superior, right?
Right.
You know, it wasn't putting no money in your pocket. It wasn't making your.
It was
wasn't
pointless.
wasn't making your teeth whiter. Wasn't making your breath fresher. No, it wasn't doing anything for you. It was pointless. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Now we're going to go next to Maya.
What I learned from Project AIM last year is that I can do anything I put my mind to. My future career is to be a dance choreographer. I can set boundaries from unprotected sex or sex before relationship with a committed partner by not doing anything out of my lines as a teen or a child. Drug use, I can just say no to things that will get me in trouble. Alcohol use, just say no point blank. There's no maybe, no thinking about it, no, nothing. And violence, I will tell an adult about what's going on in my life. And bullying, I will also tell an adult. And how I envision myself from 1 year from now, I'm hoping and praying to still be on the A honor roll and be the best I can be with dance, track, and volleyball. 3 years from now, I am hoping to get a job and getting ready to leave to go to college to complete my dreams. 5 years from now, I'm hoping to be well succeeding in my first year of college.
Wonderful. Let's give them all a round of applause. Yes. Wonderful. And so last but not least, we have Jordan, and then we're going to go to a break. And then we're going to bring in our other two students and Miss Auntie Diane,
okay,
as well as Wilbert
Mr. Dawson. Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. For my career, I would like to become a firefighter. You know, unprotected sex and sex before a relationship with committed partner. Can I just be real with y'all? Let's be honest for a second. When it don't matter if, you know, you wear a condom or when you have had sex, you have to think about it like this for male and female. When you have sex, you are not just having sex with that person. You are having sex with the people that she or he has had sex before with. You know, it's kind of like a line that, you know, and what you got to be careful of nowadays is that you don't want to fall into that and let your mind take control of your body. You have to be able to control your mind and control what comes in your mind and what goes through your mind. So my career is firefighter, and to be safe, I don't want to have sex, not to just waste it on one night or one person. And drug use for me, I don't accept it. I try and, you know, my best to keep my friends away from it and everyone that I know. Alcohol, not a big fan of it. I've seen what alcohol could do to your system, to your body, to, you know, your friends. I've heard stories and they just hasn't came out good. Violence, I'm very against, because I myself don't accept domestic violence or any kind of violence, period. So bullying, I don't really see bullying much at my school, but if I was to, I would immediately probably wouldn't even think about to go and get the teacher. I just step in and stop it myself. And so far as in, you know, where I see myself 1 year from now, I see myself as in the fire academy 3 years from now, saving lives as a firefighter, and 5 years from now, you know, living my life as a lieutenant, you know, running my own truck, you know, giving commands to, you know, my team members and making sure that everybody gets their life safe one at a time.
So let's hear from Deunatae when you were sharing and talking about the LGBT community, but we want to also have you, Deunatae, to talk about the family dynamics that you have, because your mother brings you to all of the meetings and just her involvement in your life, and your father, if he's involved in your life. Just share Deunatae. Deunatae is also a Eagle Club ambassador, and so you'll be hearing from him as he's going to talk about later in the broadcast his personal responsibility as relates to pursuing his dreams.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Deunatae Preston, and what it means to pursue my dreams in my life is like I have goals and my plans that I gotta set the boundaries on what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna accomplish them, and then I just take my time and pray about it and make sure everything is all right and accomplished, and I know I'm accomplishing my dreams and goals, but I go by step, and then I have this little agenda book. I write my steps, and then if I accomplish them, then I mark them off, and then if I don't accomplish them, or if it's a little hard for me, I just wait and pray about it, and then move on to the next thing, and then I either just go back and work on them.
Okay. So what do you want to pursue when you get out of school?
Well, what I want to pursue, I want to be a graphic designer to make games and new technology and stuff. And then if that doesn't work, I always have a backup plan. I want to be an art teacher, or I want to be a science teacher or a history teacher. And then I want to go into being an actor.
Being an actor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful. That's interesting. And so as it relates to what personal steps you're going to take as far as boundaries to abstain or set boundaries from unprotected sex, where are you at with that as far as making that decision?
From other protected sex, you say? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if somebody is trying to make me do something, I will wait. I won't go into it. I won't do it. I want to have a relationship and go by God's way and stuff. I don't want to just like rush into it. I don't want to do it. That's not me. And then I was taught better, and then I was raised better, and then I don't want to make the same mistakes that my mom and dad made. They didn't wait. They just went on. But I don't want to be like that. I want to be different I want to be better than my mom, and I want to accomplish and do more than them.
Okay. Now, what about drug use? When you talk about drug use, how does that resonate with you as far as setting boundaries from that, and then talk about it from peer pressure if there's been something that has happened in the past?
I would say no to drug use. I would say no to drug use because you never know like what's going to happen if you do this drug if you never took it before. But if it's a medication that a doctor provides, okay, you have to take the drug. But if it's somebody that you don't know or a friend, I would not do it because you never know what they do, and they probably played into it, and they probably put stuff into it, and then you just don't want to, because if they do something like that, it might hurt, it's going to harm your body, and it's going to do sorts of type of things to it, and then it's going to mess up your life and mess up no.
Okay, and then let's tie that into alcohol use. That's the next risk behavior. These are risk behaviors that I'm going down the list. There's 5 risk behaviors, and there can be a few more now with so much stuff going on, particularly with social media and what have you. But there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's tobacco. We don't talk a lot about tobacco, but but that is one of the risk behaviors: drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. Because tobacco, that's a gateway into other illegal drugs. So, how about alcohol use?
I would say no to alcohol use too, because it all goes back. If you leave your drink, especially if you're at a party, it's a very good example. If you leave your drink or food, just leave and just go back and get another one and fix your own food. Don't go back to it because you never know what nobody did to it. And then some alcohol, and then if you drink alcohol and all this and this and that, and then say somebody mess with you and make you mad, and you start going off and tripping for no reason. Like if somebody stole your money and you real drunk, and then you think somebody stole your money, and then you get your own stuff in a bad place because you didn't drink all this alcohol. And
okay, good. What about violence?
Violence. Well, for me personally, I try to stay away from violence.
Have you ever had a fight?
Yes.
In school. What provoked that fight? Did you provoke the fight, or someone provoked you to fight them?
Provoke me to fight them. It's both. I'm gonna be honest and be real. It's both.
Sure. It's all about keeping it real.
It's both for me because I've done it before. I provoked somebody provoked me to fight them, or I just went in and just started fighting the person because I'm either upset or somebody's really messing with me, then you hold all the anger in there, and you gotta release it, and you just gotta let somebody know, like, hey. And
now that's good when you say you hold it in, and then they push you to that point, and then you just did what? Did you just snap and just lost it?
Yes, I snapped and got into the moment because, like me, I'm a person, I'm calm sometimes, but like if you just keep, it's just the same person. If it just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing me to, and I hold it all in, I have to release it, because then if I don't hold it, if I don't release it and I get older, it's gonna be 10 times worse than what it is, and I'm scared to just.
Right, and I can relate to your stories, bro, because when I was younger as a kid, I always had anger problems. I was always mad, and it would be like some of the smallest things that people who don't have anger problems would be like, bro, why you getting mad over that for? But it would be such small little things that would make me mad, and that would build that anger up, and I wouldn't say anything about it, and I wouldn't release it, or I wouldn't do nothing to let it go. So it would just build up over time, and then will lead to my mom asking me to do something, or something so small, and to where it'll make me just like want to release, to me punching walls, making holes in the walls. I was, as a kid, I try not to look back on my past, because there's not, we're all not, proud of our past, so, when I tell people about my past, it's kind of like, of course you're not going to be proud of it, but, it's something that we went through, and now we have achieved it to become better, to become a better version of ourselves. So when you say that, you had to release that anger, I understand. I've gotten into fights, back in middle school. I've walked in the gym one time. Dude said something. I said, bro, what's up? You ain't gonna say it to my face. And, that's when the fight started. Mm-hmm. So, that's you have to release that anger. And I can completely understand where you're coming from when you say that.
So we're going to go ahead and wind it up, because we have to get out and transition out. You have been listening to the Eagle Club Network, and we are Future Leaders Outreach Network. And you heard earlier from all of our young people and some Gaston parents who are here for our program. So why don't you just spread the word, like us on our Facebook, Future Leaders Outreach Network. We have our own YouTube channel. We also have Twitter, and we also have Instagram. Thank you, Miss Ashley, because I'm old school. I didn't know about all this social media. I heard about it. But we want you to give us a call at area code 817-678-4695. That's 817-678-4695. And our slogan is Leaders are like eagles, soaring to reach the top. And 1, 2, 3, we all say what? We thought you ought to know.
Thank you for listening to our broadcast, Eagle Club Network, the only and unique broadcast in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas Metroplex that is developed for and by teens and college-age students.
Tune in every Saturday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. to listen to teens, college-age students, parents, and other community leaders from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and others when scheduled from throughout the nation.
Encourage us by liking us on Facebook and watching our YouTube channel, both found by typing in Future Leaders Outreach Network. If you are interested in getting involved with our Pursue Your Dream Eagle Club project, or being one of our special guests, then visit our website at www.flon.org or call us at 817-678-4695.
That number again is 817-678-4695.
And remember, you are a leader like an eagle soaring to reach the top of the summit, the highest point to reach. Supported by the Family Youth Services Bureau.
We thought you ought to know.